You kick off the sheets, move to the cooler side of the pillow, open the window, and feel nothing, just more heat pressing in from outside. Right now, across Europe, millions of people are doing exactly the same thing. France just recorded its hottest night in history. Temperatures in parts of Western Europe have pushed past 45 degrees Celsius. Dozens of people drowned in rivers and lakes trying to escape the heat. Red alerts were issued across France, Spain, the United Kingdom, and Italy simultaneously. This is not a bad summer. This is something else entirely. To understand what is actually happening above your head, you need to know about something called an omega block. About 10 kilometers up, the atmosphere sometimes locks into a pattern shaped like the Greek letter omega, a high-pressure dome bulging upward in the center, flanked by low-pressure systems on either side. This dome acts like a lid. It traps hot, dry air from the Sahara over Western Europe and pushes it downward. As air compresses, it heats up. The sky stays clear. The sun beats down without interruption. And because the system is locked in place, it does not move. It sits. For days. For weeks. That is what you are living through right now. The Saharan air being compressed over Europe arrived via a pathway that has opened up as the polar jet stream has weakened. Researcher Jennifer Francis at the Woodwell Climate Research Center has documented how a warming Arctic, heating 4 times faster than the global average, slows the jet stream down. A slower jet stream meanders. It dips south and drags heat northward from Africa. It was already weakening before this summer. But it is not the only factor driving what is happening outside your window. There is something else. Something happening in the Pacific Ocean, thousands of kilometers away. Right now, a Super El Niño is forming. El Niño is a periodic warming of the Pacific Ocean's surface, and when it builds strongly, it reshapes weather patterns across the entire globe. The 2026 event is trending toward historic strength, with some forecasts suggesting it could surpass the strongest El Niño ever recorded. AccuWeather meteorologist Jason Nichols stated it plainly: El Niño is a driver, and there is a good chance Europe will see more rounds of extreme heat this summer. The Pacific is warm. That warmth pushes global temperatures higher. And higher global temperatures mean every heat wave that forms hits a harder ceiling. But there is still one more layer, and this one is right beneath your feet if you live near the sea. The Mediterranean is in the middle of a marine heat wave. In late May 2026, satellite data showed water temperatures more than 5 degrees Celsius above normal along the western Mediterranean and off the coasts of France. 5 degrees above normal in an ocean. Warm ocean water evaporates faster, loading the air with extra heat. When Saharan air flows north over a sea that is already abnormally hot, it does not cool down over the water the way it normally would. It arrives on land still carrying its full force. The sea that used to act as a buffer is now an amplifier. 3 forces, the omega block, the Super El Niño, and the Mediterranean marine heat wave, are operating simultaneously. Each one alone would push temperatures higher than normal. Together, they are producing something unprecedented, and Europe is particularly unprepared for it. This continent was built for cold and rain. Thick stone walls, small windows, buildings designed to hold warmth in winter, which means buildings that trap heat in summer. Less than a quarter of homes in France have air conditioning. In Germany, fewer than 3%. When a heat wave like this arrives, your house becomes a slow oven. It absorbs heat all day and cannot release it at night. Cities run 5 to 10 degrees hotter than the surrounding countryside. And the people most exposed, the elderly, the poor, those who cannot leave, have nowhere to go. We have seen where this leads. During the 2003 European heat wave, more than 70,000 people died across the continent. Researchers found that the deadliest factor was not just the temperature, it was isolation. People dying alone in apartments because no one came to check on them. That was 23 years ago. The conditions that caused it have only intensified since. Climate scientist Friederike Otto, who leads the World Weather Attribution Project at Imperial College London, has developed methods to calculate exactly how much more likely a heat event was made by climate change. When her team studied recent European heat waves, the conclusion was consistent. Events of this intensity were virtually impossible in a world without human-caused warming. Not just more likely, virtually impossible. The heat outside your window tonight is not random. It is the jet stream weakening because the Arctic is warming. It is a Super El Niño forming in the Pacific and reshaping global weather. It is a Mediterranean Sea that has already absorbed more heat than it should. And underneath all of it, it is 2 centuries of burning fossil fuels raising the baseline that everything else builds on top of. You cannot fix any of that before the sun rises tomorrow. But here is something worth sitting with. Tonight, while you lie there unable to sleep, the birds outside have gone quiet too. The trees in your street stopped growing 3 weeks ago. A stress response, their pores closing to survive. The rivers crossing southern Europe are running lower than they have in decades. Fish are dying in water too warm to hold oxygen. Bees are retreating underground hours earlier than normal because their navigation breaks down above a certain temperature. The heat is not just happening to you. It is happening to everything around you at the same time. Humans have a word for extreme weather. Nature does not have words. It just responds. The birds go quiet, the trees close up, the rivers shrink, and you lie there in the dark, sweating, unable to sleep, part of the same living system, feeling exactly what everything else is feeling. Tonight, when you first opened that window hoping for cool air and felt nothing but heat pressing back, you and the world outside were experiencing the same thing. That has always been true. We just forgot it for a while.